Hello and welcome. This is Brad Imsland, and for today's video, we're going to be making a three-part series. A lot of people have asked the question, how do you edit all this footage and all this video that you have from your GoPros and cell phones and everything that you've shot together into an actual interesting video that people might want to watch, that you can put on YouTube, get some views, and maybe in the long run even make a couple dollars. So I'm going to be working with Joe Hall. I'm in Wisconsin here. Joe is in Pennsylvania. I met Joe out at the Black Hawk Ranch fly-in, and awesome guy. We ended up flying together and hanging out a lot and keep in touch. So he's going to be doing a little Q&A back and forth with me, and I'm going to be answering the questions and trying to get to the bottom of how do we make these cool videos, how do you make them without having to get a college education in video editing, and just doing it simple and easy and effective. All right, let's take it away, Joe.
Hey, good morning everybody. This is Joe Hall, and I'm joining Brad Imsland this morning, and together we're going to talk a little bit about the filming aspects and recording our flights, and what tools we use for capturing the footage, for editing the footage, and then how we store it and publish it, put it out to YouTube and Facebook and so forth. So a few questions that I'm going to ask Mark this morning, because Mark is, as you guys may know, he's a professional photographer and a professional videographer, as well as being just an ace paramotor pilot. So I had a guy come up to me at the, an old guy come up to me at the field a couple of weeks ago at the airport I fly at, and he comes up to me and he says, very knowingly, "Son, I want to tell you something." "Okay, sir, what do you want to tell me?" And he takes a step close to me and he says, "This paramotoring thing, it is the coolest thing ever invented." Then he leans into me and he says, "For photography." And man, if he wasn't right. This guy was a former pilot. He had flown paragliders for some years, and the platform that it offers for still and motion photography is unparalleled. It's like being outside of the cockpit of the plane. You have unobstructed 360-degree view. You can turn your rig very quickly and safely to capture a shot. So phenomenal flexibility with the paragliding platform. I guess the first question for Mark today is, what makes a good paramotoring video?
All right, let's jump right into this question number one. What makes a good video? So we all have different forms of cameras, whether it's your GoPro mounted to your helmet, DJI, I got the Osmo here, even people that are flying and following along with drones. So what is it that really makes a good video? In my opinion, and what I tend to watch, are videos that have a storyline, that have a point to what's going to happen in the video. So some of my videos, it's going to be, today I'm going up to a certain altitude, flying to a new destination, testing out something on a wing. So the video has a point to it. Now, along with that point, one of the things I like to ensure is that even if I'm rolling my video the entire time, I only want to use 2 to maybe 5-second clips. There's rare times when I put a clip in there that's longer than 10 seconds. Maybe it's a really good clip. Maybe it's a video where I want to just document it for myself to see a certain area. But if you're trying to retain viewers' attention, you want to keep those clips pretty short, especially if it's just flying or movement. When you can keep a bunch of clips that are shorter spliced together, it keeps the production value higher and makes it more interesting. Let's face it, some of the time on the GoPro, your head's looking around and it's shaky footage. So focus when you're even shooting it on getting nice and steady footage. That's kind of the duration. Now also there's a thing in video called B-roll. So ensuring that not every clip that you shoot is the one that's on your helmet, or it's setting up the main shot. B-roll are establishing shots. B-roll might be your drive out to the field, a video of the temperature or the weather. That's something that factors in. Things that you see along the way out to the field. When you're up there, things that you're doing, setting up the wing on the ground. There's a lot of B-roll involved. So anytime you can get the camera rolling on not just the main focus, but things that are going to make the video more full and rich and tell the story. Also, those video clips can be a couple seconds. So in the last video, we're going to break down and we're going to look at some of the better videos, or videos that I like, and we're going to see how these things all apply to those videos. At the end of the day, you want to have a nice, video that's interesting to watch, and I really like to keep the duration of my videos under 10 minutes.
So Mark, what setting is the best to use for recording with the camera?
All right, next up, that's a great question. So many people nowadays have GoPros. This is the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Silver. This is the Hero Session. And now there's ones more advanced than these ones. The biggest concern is shooting in 4K. Now, the concern comes with such large file sizes, and it depends on what type of computer that you're going to be using to edit these videos. It does take a powerful computer with a lot of video RAM to work on those 4K file sizes. The output is great, and if it gets uploaded to YouTube, sometimes the viewer can't even view it in 4K because it doesn't have the streaming speed to view it, which it'll just downplay to 1080. So what I have been doing is just working in 1080. The 1080 wide setting works great. There's also frames per second. 60 frames per second looks great. More often than not on my GoPros, I am shooting at 30 frames per second. So that just means how many frames per second. 30 looks really nice, keeps a manageable file size, it gives you good resolution. Also remember that GoPros, they're really not extremely well in low light. So if you're going to be flying, and it's getting to be darker, or you're even just doing some shooting around the garage and it's dark, it starts to get real muddy in the shadowed areas. So just know that they're not the best in dark areas. Bright daytime looks amazing. So film when you have a lot of light, which is almost always when we're flying powered paraglider. And then the settings that you want to use, 1080 is pretty darn good. If you want to go to 4K, it's stunning, it's beautiful, but it does take a little bit more computing power.
Next question for Mark is, I have a lot of raw footage. How do I organize it?
All right, great question. What do we do with all that raw footage that we have? Now, to begin with, I think it's common for people to click the GoPro on, myself included, and do your whole flight and click it off when you land. Now that's going to bring you home with some really large file sizes, and unless there's something unexpected that happens, you're just recording maybe a lot of kind of the same thing. So what works really well is to know what shots you're going to want. You're going to want your takeoff, so start it up before you go and do your takeoff. But after you get up into the sky, if you're going to be going on a longer flight, it's okay to shut it off until you find your next shot that you really want to get. So as I'm coming up to a tree line or a beautiful area or a quarry, whatever it might be, it's easy just to reach up, click it back on, and then you have an idea in your mind of when you get back, what shots did I get? What am I going to use for the video? And you're not sitting on 15 gigabytes of video that you have to look through. So it's a lot easier. It's almost like editing as you're flying. It's easy to reach up, hit the button, and if you have a difficult time knowing if it's recording or not, that's when I like to keep a mirror, whether it's in my pocket or I've thought of even hot gluing a mirror to the back of or something, or Velcroing it to your leg. That way you can look right up at the camera wherever it might be mounted for the little red blinking dot. That's going to allow you to come back with a lot less footage, and then the footage that you have is going to be really specific to what you want to show off. Less footage, less data that you have to deal with, the faster that you can get things done, and it kind of improves and speeds up your workflow for all of this. So the big takeaway is, if you're not going to record the entire time, to just use the button and try to record the important parts of the flight. That way you don't have as much raw footage. And also to organize, the thing that I do every single time is I have a folder, and it's called 2017. Inside that, it's going to be flying paramotor. Inside that is going to be 2017-8-4, flying at the sand dunes. Inside that is going to be original files. And then when I finish up, I make a folder called finished files. So everything really has a hierarchy when I can go back and find my originals or delete them even when I'm done because I produced my video, and that's all that I really want to keep. Great way to save on storage, gives you a finished product versus just all this raw footage, and allows you to get rid of the old stuff and keep moving on with new stuff. Well, on behalf of Joe Hall and myself, we'd like to thank you for watching part 1 of our 3-part series of how to make your own paramotor videos, get them uploaded to YouTube, and how to get that whole process completed as easy and efficiently as possible. The next video, part 2, will be out 2 days from now, so look forward to that. Like and subscribe to my channel and check Joe Hall's videos out. He's flying in Pennsylvania. Great pilot. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you all have a great night. See you later.